A bitter transborder custody battle for a toddler born in neighboring Guatemala has come before the Belize Family Court. It is a most unusual case involving 2-year-old Nina Perez, seen here in the loving care of her mother. The child's father is Guatemalan. Her mother, Annalise Perez Gutierrez, says she is Belizean despite the existence of a pair of distinct birth certificates. The dispute between the now separated couple has resulted in the Department of Human Services taking guardianship of baby Nina.
I was awakened, on Friday by this social worker accompanied with a policeman stating that they were going to take custody of my child because the father had reopened a case that was already closed and was able to attain an order to get my daughter seized from me and returned without me having any say about it. So I was very scared because I could not understand why this had been happening. However, especially the fact that no proper documentation was provided to me, and I am, well aware of what he is capable of, and that all that psychological trauma that I was trying to get over, had been the wound that I was trying to heal had been reopened.
The intervention was the outcome of a decision taken by relevant local authorities acting on a formal request made by their Guatemalan counterparts.
We were responding to a request from the Guatemalan Central Authority. This matter was filed under the Hague concerning the wrongful removal of this 2-year-old Guatemalan child. The child was wrongfully removed and brought into Belize. So Guatemala being her country of usual residence, using the language of the convention, she was brought into Belize.
According to Judith Alpuche, Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Human Development and Social Transformation, the child's mother left Guatemala and returned to Belize with Nina, but did not notify or receive consent from the father prior to her departure.
Our involvement in the case is through the Hague Convention on International Child Abduction. Belize, as well as many other countries in the world, I would say most countries in the world, are signatories to that convention that deals with exactly these kinds of situations. Primarily, when parents are in custody battles, when the custody of children are at stake or in question. We are the central authority. The Department of Human Services specifically is the central authority for that convention. So basically the focal point that deals with these matters.
The contention, from the mother's perspective, is that no one from that department, including the social worker handling the case, cared to share any information with her pertaining to the child's removal.
No one wanted to give us information. The Human Development Department, closed out all doors with me, with my family, and even my attorney to get any further information as to what was going on. This person who had taken my child, the social worker, had given a false name, which we later revealed because of some posts that were made on Facebook of people who went through this similar stories as mine, similar experiences where this same social worker had been involved in having their children taken away as well, under questionable, circumstances.
This morning, all parties, with the exception of the father, who is in Guatemala, appeared before the court.
We came to Belize City this morning to investigate further with the Department of Human Services as to exactly what has transpired on since Friday, and if the child, the young child, the 2-year-old child, is safely in their custody. And we did manage to speak with the director, Miss Liliani Ortiz, and she has confirmed that indeed the child is in their custody. Subsequent to that, we came to the Belize Family Court, where, unknown to us, a preliminary hearing was being heard on the application of the Department of Human Services for an interim custody order in favor of the Department of Human Services over this 2-year-old child.
We have the legal authority under the Families and Children's Act. This morning we went to court because under that section of the Families and Children's Act, when we remove, we must produce the child to the court within 48 hours. So we must make the court aware of what was done, either within 48 hours or next business day. And since it was a weekend, then Monday being the first opportunity, we went to court, and the court has granted us interim custody of the child for 2 months until the matter is resolved. Right? So that is where we are. This was not a kidnapping. This was not, nobody was paid. Nothing outrageous as has been raging on social media was done. Nothing untoward. It is straight procedure under the Hague Convention.
It is unclear whether Liz Perez Gutierrez will be allowed to visit her child in the interim. While legal custody of baby Nina expires on January 15, 2016, her mother is also scheduled to return to court on that date, when it will be decided whether the child remains or returns to her country of birth. Reporting for News 5, I am